Hello everyone. Dave is a humble, middle-aged man, living a solitary life with no one close to him except his dog. This might not seem unusual, but Dave now has the ability to transform himself into a dog. This transformation is a consequence of his wife leaving him. In his world, such a punishment is reserved for those abandoned to loneliness. The story unfolds when some peculiar individuals in suits appear at Dave's lonely house. They forcibly take him away, dragging him along with them. Together with his dog, he is taken to a strange hotel. At the beginning, he is asked bizarre questions about whether he has food allergies, which gender he is attracted to, and how long it has been since his last relationship. For some reason, Dave claims the dog he brought with him is his brother. According to Dave, his brother was also a hotel guest a few years ago, but something went wrong. Dave is subsequently sent to a peculiar-looking office, where he is compelled to relinquish all his clothes and accessories. In this room, he encounters the other hotel guests who are sitting there in their underwear. They appear both frightened and confused. Back in his room, Dave notices that his closet is filled with identical shirts, pants, and blazers that he is now required to wear. He also observes a fancy gun mounted on the wall. On the desk beside the bed, there's a pair of glasses, a watch, or columns, and 20 tranquilizer darts. When Dave gazes out the window, he's shocked by the unusual scene. Not only are his hotel neighbors standing there with similar weapons, but there are also lifeless bodies of strangers on the pavement in front of them. Shortly after, the hotel manager and her companion enter Dave's room. The hotel owner inquires if he has gone through the brochure regarding the hotel's stay rules. He discovers there are countless rules. The key one is finding a life partner in 45 days, or Dave becomes an animal. The manager asks what animal he'd choose if he fails, and he picks a lobster. Dave likes that lobsters have aristocratic blue blood, live over 100 years, and can reproduce for life. The manager is quite pleasantly surprised. In her opinion, the majority of them opt to transform into just an ordinary dog. That's the reason why there are so many dogs around the world, thousands of them. At the conclusion of the meeting, they come to the decision to teach the man a lesson regarding the downsides of living alone. And they choose to do it in a very unique and unusual way. They tie his right hand to his belt for an entire day, and he is compelled to continue his daily activities using only one arm. On the second morning of his stay, Dave heads down to join other hotel guests for breakfast. He notices that those who have successfully found a soulmate are seated separately. He curiously examines the other singles, including a woman who constantly has a nosebleed and a local psychopath rumored to be heartless. As breakfast time draws to a close, John and Robert, who speaks with a lisp, encounter Dave. They extend an invitation for a walk, and afterward, they head to the general meeting for guests. During the meeting, Dave's newfound friend John delivers a speech. He shares that his mother once stayed as a guest at the hotel, where she struggled to find companionship. John recounts that he was unable to recognize his mother among the wolves at the zoo. One day, he couldn't resist and entered the enclosure. He realized she stayed back while others attacked. That's how John got his limp, a trait his late wife shared. Only one companion in the hotel has similar traits. That day, a dance with live music is held for guests. Dave, John, and the lisping robot want different women, but it's not working. They're too different, with nothing in common. Suddenly, the dancing stops. It turns out that the hotel residents venture into the woods daily to hunt the loners who have escaped from the hotel. For each person they shoot, the manager extends their stay by a day. Dave, however, doesn't succeed in making a single kill. This is not the case for the psychopathic woman, who accomplishes the task flawlessly. Some time goes by. Dave still has 2 months and 30 days before he transforms into a Homer, yet he has not found a life partner. However, he doesn't genuinely make an effort, even when a woman attempts to seduce him on the bus during their trip to the hunt. It's only his friend John who decides to take the initiative. John chooses to get close to the girl, who has a nose that bleeds frequently, and he opts for an unusual approach to achieve this. He intentionally hits his head on the pool's edge, pretending to be injured. The girl concludes that she has finally discovered the person she has been searching for. However, Dave is aware of the truth. He has witnessed John intentionally harming himself. Naturally, he neither judges nor betrays his friend. Later on, at a dance party, John and his girlfriend are officially announced as a couple. They are given a room together and encouraged to consider having a child if their relationship faces difficulties. The curators believe that having a child often helps in resolving issues. Dave now has a week, just 7 days, before he transforms into a lobster. He starts to understand that he desperately needs to take action. He attempts to get to know a stunning blonde by the pool, but he doesn't succeed. This woman has gorgeous hair, and she desires the same from her husband. However, she is not very fond of Dave's hairstyle. In fact, she is so uninterested that she would even be willing to sacrifice her life for the man she dreams of. Then Dave targets another lonely woman, the heartless psychopath. Dave realizes he must gain her trust and behave appropriately. That very day, an opportunity arises. A woman who attempted to seduce Dave falls from the 4th floor. She breaks her bones but survives. Her heart-wrenching screams echo through the hotel. However, this brief conversation isn't quite enough to pique the woman's interest. Dave doesn't lose hope. He notices his potential partner unwinding in the hot tub and decides to join her. Suddenly, the lady starts choking on an olive from her cocktail, yet Dave doesn't offer any assistance. Surprisingly, he's done the right thing. It's actually a test for the insensitive, and he has passed it with flying colors. The newlyweds receive the keys to their shared room. They start living together and appear in public as a couple. Dave manages his role as a cold sociopath quite well. However, after encountering his friend John, along with his partner and her daughter, Dave's behavior turns cruel and distant. Yet, this only continues until the next morning, when the heartless woman wakes him up with some terrible news. Dave struggles hard to keep his emotions under control, yet he begins to cry when he sees his brother's body in the bathroom. The woman exposes his true feelings and realizes that Dave has been deceiving her about his heartless nature. She takes him to the manager for a severe punishment. He is turned into an animal that nobody desires to be. Along the way, Dave cleverly distracts and stuns the traitor, then asks a hotel employee for assistance. She surprisingly agrees and carries the lifeless body into the room for its transformation into an animal. Later that evening, Dave escapes from the hotel and heads into the forest. Dave roams alone in the forest for a while until one of the other fugitives eventually finds him. The man gets acquainted with the leader and the rest of the group, and they permit him to stay. However, Dave quickly realizes that the freedom he had long dreamed of is not as easy to achieve as he thought. The Singles clan has rules as strict as the hotels. Touching, flirting, and relationships are banned, with severe punishments for those who break them. Dave believes it's preferable to certain death. He participates in community life, hunts, obeys the rules, and escapes from hotel guests with other singles. One day, he encounters his friend Robert. Robert is appalled by Dave's actions towards the heartless woman. Moreover, he still has some time remaining at the hotel. So, Robert draws his gun, but a dark-haired stranger from the Singles clan suddenly halts him. Meanwhile, the hotel worker who assisted Dave with the heartless woman is with the Singles leader. She is actually a secret agent. The girl distributes room keys and weapons to the Singles for their planned invasion over the weekend. However, before they can proceed, the leader of the Singles needs to go shopping in the city. She brings along an assistant, Dave, and his new acquaintance. During their journey, Dave discovers that the woman shares his short-sightedness. Once in the city, they must pretend to be a married couple as the police arrest Singles and forcibly take them to the hotel. The weekend is coming up, and the Singles are getting ready to raid the hotel. They aim to create confusion among the guests and the managers, trying to drive the lovers into conflicts and disagreements. After returning to the forest, The relationship between Dave and the short-sighted girl grows more intense with each passing day. They escape from the others to the lake shore and even create a special sign language to communicate with one another. However, one day, the leader of the singles invites them to join another trip to the city. Dave and his lover pretend to be a married couple and become too involved in their act, causing the leader to suspect that something is amiss. Back in the forest, the couple makes a plan to escape during the next hunt. However, the leader is already one step ahead of them. The double agent girl informs them about the secret escape plans. Therefore, the leader takes the short-sighted girl to the city, supposedly to have her eyesight corrected. But, in reality, the clinic is planning to do something entirely different to the unfortunate girl. She will end up being completely blinded. As stated by the sole leader, this is the only method to eliminate the forbidden love that has emerged between two individuals who are short-sighted. Ultimately, they will no longer share anything in common. Meanwhile, back in the forest, the blind girl initially acts as though she can see to avoid causing Dave any concern. However, it doesn't take long before she reveals to her lover what has transpired. Dave assures his companion that he will discover a solution and assists her in adapting to the new reality. After some time, Dave informs his lover that it's time. Once the leader arrives, Dave knocks him out and leaves him tied up in the grave he had dug earlier. 2001, the loner's leader is abandoned with the hungry dogs. Dave and the blind girl finally manage to escape. Upon reaching the town, they head to the first pub they find. The couple doesn't order anything, but Dave requests a fork and a sharp knife from the waiter. He heads to the public restroom and holds the knife near his eye. However, what happened next remains a mystery. Share your thoughts on the best ending for this story. Subscribe to the channel to catch more